learned about the Alamo, the Battle of the Alamo, when I was a little kid, and it sounded like a. It was explained to me in a kind of a cool way. 200 people fighting, like they knew they were outnumbered, they knew they were gonna lose, they were declined more troops, and they fought like very end, and it was described as this epic thing, and that fight is why Texas ultimately won, and that Texas's victory is part of what makes America so great. Like that Texas is great. That's why America's great. That's what was taught to me as a kid. And I think that kind of narrative of, oh yeah, we're the best. It's motivating. It like gives you a good idea about yourself. So I think that's why it's given such a good notion. You get me? It's like if somebody eats pizza all the time, and they're told that pizza is really good for them, and then one day somebody's trying to be like, actually pizza is really bad for you. They're gonna be against that, and they'll be like, you're lying. That's not true. I've been eating pizza forever. It's an amazing thing. It's super good. It feels really good to be like, we won Texas independence. So I think that's why Texans love the Alamo, and they talk about it the way they do. Well, I'm a Texan too, but I don't really talk about the Alamo. But Texas Alamo lovers, I think that's why they love the Alamo, is because it's motivating, it's inspirational. And it would be if it was true, but I mean, I guess some parts of it are true. Right, it really was 190 people fighting to the end, and they did lose. It was kind of an inspiration. But the thing that he talks about, second question, Raul Ramos, the thing he talks about is that this kind of narrative has a icky racial context to it. That is that a lot of the fighters in this battle were white men who were not specifically fighting for Texas independence, kind of at all. He talked about how after Texas gained its independence, there was a vote to see if it joined the U.S., and 97% of people wanted to join the U.S. That means that none of them really wanted to be independent. They all knew in their mind, we're fighting to be U.S. We don't want to be our own thing. We want to join the U.S., which does kind of change it for me, because Texas really boasts about, we could be independent if we want to. It's like, no, you couldn't. It would be hard. So that kind of thing. And he does go into even more detail about that, saying that in the period between Texas gaining its independence and joining the U.S., it was having a really hard time, and that it cost a lot of money to make a government, and then a lot of foreign governments weren't trusting Texas, and Britain wasn't trusting Texas because of the slave thing. The slave thing is also very important to the Alamo and the whole fight for Texas independence, because what? I lost my train of thought. Oh, a lot of those white people fighting in the Alamo were fighting for slavery. That's kind of the idea that Raul Ramos tries to convey, and I believe it. It makes total sense. Because we were taught in class that Mexico did not have slavery, but these people in Texas weren't Mexican. Some of them weren't, but a lot of them were immigrants from America, which did have slavery. So they knew what slavery was, and they knew that it was really useful, and they really wanted it. So that's part of why they were fighting, which is a bad thing. Slavery is bad, and I'm happy that we've gotten out of it. Something interesting that I feel I should say, I have 6 minutes left, but because it's 11:54, is the previous assignment, the Harriet one, she uses the word fácil, which is Spanish, fácil, and it literally means easy. Like in English, it means easy. It was easy to do. That's what it means in Spanish. It's fácil. And they both mentioned that it was fácil for slave owners to have sex with their slaves, and Raul Ramos is saying that it was fácil for a white general from Missouri to just come in and steal a bunch of Mexicans, and that sucks. So I thought that was interesting that they both use a word. They're both about owning people, and they both use a Spanish word. That's cool.